Welcome to Nightveil. Ravenwood, a beautiful village nestled among the valleys of the American countryside. But hidden within this village were terrifying secrets that had filled even the bravest residents with fear for centuries. Today is going to be great. I finally get to see my friends after so many days. Jason, where are you going at this hour? His father asked. Dad, I haven't seen my friends in a long time. They'll be leaving town in the morning. Don't you know what night it is? It's Saturday night. Tonight the Nishiro roam through the village. Dad, whether it's the Nishiro or the devil himself, nothing is stopping me from meeting my friends tonight. Fine, but remember one thing. The moment you hear their footsteps and the strange chant they repeat while walking, hide somewhere immediately. Don't let them see you and don't look at them either. Stay hidden until the sound disappears completely. They are four terrifying men carrying a coffin on their shoulders. Anyone who sees them never survives. I know, Dad, I'll be careful. Jason left the house, but the worry on his father's face was impossible to miss. They'll come and they'll take him away. Jason laughed. These villagers still live as if it's another century. He continued walking at a fast pace. After some time, he noticed a narrow trail leading into the forest. If I take this shortcut, I'll get there much faster. Without thinking twice, he stepped onto the forest path. A smile appeared on his face. Tonight is going to be fun. We'll drink and celebrate all night. Suddenly, he heard something. Heavy footsteps and strange voices. The moment he heard them, his entire body froze. His eyes widened in terror. Oh God! He immediately ran toward a thick bush and hid inside it. Breathing heavily, he crouched low. The sounds were becoming clearer. Closer, much closer. He was certain whoever was making those sounds was approaching. Slowly, he peeked through the leaves with one eye. And what he saw shocked him. Booms, booms, boom. The figures were real. Oh God, I've seen them. Jason buried himself deeper into the bushes and remained perfectly still. After several minutes, he looked again. They were gone. I think they're gone. Relieved, he stepped out of hiding. He looked left, then right. No one. Thank God. But the instant he took another step, the footsteps returned. Right behind him. Jason spun around. The four coffin bearers were standing directly behind him. Booms, booms, boom. A horrifying scream echoed through the forest. Late into the night, when Jason still hadn't returned home, his father became worried. He asked a villager named Daniel to accompany him into the forest. After a long search, they reached an old banyan tree. The moment they looked ahead, their eyes widened in horror. Jason was lying there under mysterious circumstances. The terror frozen on his face made it look as though he had witnessed something unimaginably horrific before his death. 400 years later, a dark forest, an abandoned trail. Trees and thick fog surrounded everything. Emma stood alone among them. Hello, is anyone here? She slowly stepped forward. No one answered, but she could hear something. Drip, drip, drip. A strange liquid was falling somewhere nearby. What am I doing here? Who brought me here? She was confused and frightened. Suddenly, she noticed something flying toward her. As it came closer, she realized it was a giant, terrifying bird. Help! Emma turned and ran. The monstrous creature chased her through the darkness. She glanced behind her. It was almost upon her. Then, crash! She slammed into a tree. Screaming, she fell backward. As she looked up, she noticed something strange. A green liquid was dripping from the tree. She stared at it carefully. Just then, a voice interrupted her. Emma, wake up, how long are you planning to sleep? Emma opened her eyes. It was morning. 9:00 a.m. Oh crap, we're late, why didn't you wake me up earlier? Emma was living in New York with her research partner, Olivia. The two worked together in a laboratory. After breakfast, they headed to work. Your omelet nearly poisoned me. Be grateful I made breakfast at all. If I relied on you, we'd starve. You don't even wake up before 9. Soon they arrived at the lab. The moment they entered, Olivia received a call. It was Professor Anderson. You two are taking far too long. Are you ever going to finish developing that antidote? Professor, we're very close. Just give us 3 more days. She ended the call. Emma looked at hers. So you've been stalling him all this time. How exactly are you planning to create this antidote? Olivia pulled out an old book. Look at this. This book contains stories about rare liquids mentioned in ancient legends and folklore. What are you trying to say? I found information about a very unusual substance called the elixir of immortality. We'll test it. If it works, we might be able to use it. The elixir of immortality? No way. I'm not going anywhere with you for something that sounds like a fairy tale. Just look at this. Olivia pointed at an illustration. Every full moon night, a mysterious green liquid drips from this tree. Emma froze. The tree in the illustration was exactly the same tree she had been seeing in her dreams. The same green liquid. The same forest. The same tree. Oh my God. Olivia smiled. Interesting, isn't it? Emma thought quietly for a moment. Then she answered, Let's leave for Ravenwood tomorrow. The very next morning, Emma and Olivia boarded a bus and set off for Ravenwood. As the bus rolled down the highway, Olivia glanced at Emma. Tell me something, how did you agree to come with me so quickly? Emma hid the real reason and smiled. After hearing about something that unusual, who wouldn't want to see it for themselves? Now that's what I like to hear. I definitely made the right choice choosing you as my partner. After nearly 5 hours of traveling, they finally arrived. As they stepped off the bus, they found themselves standing before a massive iron gate. Written across it were the words, Welcome to Ravenwood. The moment Emma and Olivia stepped through the gate, the weather suddenly changed. The bright sun disappeared behind dark clouds. A cold wind swept across the village. Wow, this place is a lot colder than I expected. The villagers noticed the sudden change as well. What just happened? It was warm a minute ago. Looks like a storm is coming. As the villagers exchanged worried looks, Emma and Olivia continued walking toward the village center. You think the people here are normal? Emma asked quietly. Olivia laughed. Village people are usually normal. We're the weird ones from the city. Emma smiled. You actually have a point. A few minutes later, they arrived at the village square. An old stone well stood in the center. Nearby stood Mayor Carter with 2 villagers. The mayor noticed the girls immediately. Hello there, who are you two? Olivia stepped forward politely. Hi sir, my name is Olivia and this is my friend Emma. Nice to meet you both. What brings you to Ravenwood? Actually, we're conducting research for our university project. We need information about 5 different rural communities. I see, then you've come to the right place. We'll help however we can. Thank you, sir. Olivia hesitated before asking another question. Would it be possible to rent a place here for a few days? The mayor chuckled. Rent a place, that's not necessary. The girls exchanged looks. You can stay at my house. My wife loves having guests. Really? Of course. Thank you so much. The mayor smiled. Come on, follow me. The girls followed him through the village. As they approached his house, something strange happened. The candle burning inside the home's prayer room suddenly went out by itself. The mayor stopped. Honey, can you come here for a moment? A woman stepped out from another room. Mrs. Carter. Yes, what is it? She noticed the 2 girls immediately. Oh my goodness, who are these lovely young ladies? They're visiting from the city. They're conducting research on our village. Research? Before anyone could explain further, another voice interrupted. Research on this village. Everyone turned. A young man had just entered the room. Emma and Olivia looked at him. What exactly could anyone find interesting in this boring little town? The girls exchanged surprised glances. Ethan, Mayor Carter snapped. Who talks about their own town like that? The young man shrugged. The mayor sighed. This is my son, Ethan. Ethan smiled politely and greeted them. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. The mayor pointed toward the hallway. Ethan, show them the empty room next to yours. Sure. Ethan gestured dramatically. This way, ladies. The girls laughed and followed him down the corridor. At that exact moment, across the village, Pastor Samuel sat inside the old church offering evening prayers. Suddenly, the candle before him went out. His expression darkened. These signs aren't good. He looked toward the sky through a nearby window. Lord, please protect us. Meanwhile, as Ethan showed them their room, he continued chatting. So out of all the places you could have chosen, why this village? We need information on 5 different villages, Olivia explained. This one happened to be nearby. Fair enough. Emma looked around curiously. Is there anything mysterious or historical around here? Ethan smiled. Actually, yes. There is. A royal palace. Emma stopped. A palace. About 400 years ago, King William ruled this region. His palace still stands. Olivia's eyes lit up. Seriously? Yep. Would you take us there? Sure. Emma looked at Olivia. Right now? No, Olivia replied. Tonight? Ethan blinked. That night? Emma stared at Olivia. You can't be serious. Olivia grinned. What, are you scared? Ethan laughed. Scared? This is my hometown. Then take us there after everyone falls asleep. Ethan thought for a moment. My parents will be asleep by midnight. Perfect. I'll come get you then. Deal. After that, Ethan left them alone in their room. The moment he was gone, Emma turned toward Olivia. What are we doing? What do you mean? We came here to investigate the elixir of immortality. So why are we sneaking into some old palace? Olivia lowered her voice. If we asked Ethan directly about the elixir, he'd get suspicious. Emma listened carefully. Tonight we'll visit the palace. And tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll ask him to take us into the forest. And then we'll casually bring up the elixir and see what he knows. Emma nodded. Okay, that actually makes sense. Outside, the villagers remained unsettled by the sudden cold weather. Pastor Samuel continued staring into the sky. Dark shadows seemed to move between the clouds. Something felt terribly wrong. And somewhere far beyond the village, something ancient was beginning to awaken. Around midnight, while Mayor Carter and Mrs. Carter were fast asleep, Ethan quietly stepped out of his room. A few moments later, there was a soft knock at the girl's door. Emma opened her eyes. I think he's here. Olivia immediately got up and opened the door. Standing outside was Ethan. Hey, are you two ready? Olivia grinned. We've been ready. Then let's go. The three quietly slipped out of the house and disappeared into the dark village streets. The night felt strangely cold. A powerful wind blew through the empty roads. After crossing several narrow streets, Emma pulled her jacket tighter. Does the wind always blow this hard around here? Ethan smirked. Not usually. Then why tonight? Maybe the pollution from your city followed you here. Olivia laughed. Very funny. They continued walking. After several minutes, they finally stopped. A massive structure stood before them. The ancient palace. The moment Emma saw it, a strange feeling washed over her. Her heart suddenly began racing. She couldn't explain why. She stared at the enormous building. Its broken towers stretched into the darkness. The palace looked ancient, forgotten, haunted, and yet, somehow familiar. Emma frowned. This is strange. What is? Olivia asked. I feel like I've seen this place before. Ethan looked surprised. You've never been here before. I know. Emma continued staring at the palace. But somehow it feels familiar. Ethan pointed toward the building. This is the palace of King William. Olivia immediately pulled out her camera. Well, she snapped several photographs. It's incredible. Ethan walked toward one side of the palace wall. We can't use the main entrance. Why not? Emma asked. The doors have been sealed shut for decades. He pointed toward a broken window. We'll have to enter through there. One by one, they climbed through the shattered window and entered the palace. The moment Emma stepped inside, another strange feeling hit her. Everything felt familiar. The hallways, the walls, the decorations. It felt as if she had walked through these rooms before. But that was impossible. Meanwhile, outside the palace, the storm continued growing stronger. Powerful winds swept through Ravenwood. Most villagers slept peacefully in their homes, unaware of what was coming. Then suddenly, boom, 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 a deep sound echoed through the darkness. Inside their homes, villagers opened their eyes. The sound felt familiar. Too familiar. Fear spread through the village. At that same moment, Pastor Samuel suddenly sat upright. His eyes widened. No, the sound came again. Boom, boom, boom. Pastor Samuel's face turned pale. Meanwhile, inside the palace, Emma, Olivia, and Ethan continued exploring. Ancient paintings covered the walls. Broken furniture lay scattered everywhere. Dust covered every surface. Then, Emma stopped. Did you hear that? Olivia froze. Hear what? Listen. A few seconds later, they heard it. Heavy footsteps. Slow, deliberate, walking somewhere nearby. Thud, thud, thud. The sound echoed through the palace corridors. Olivia looked around nervously. It sounds like someone is walking. Ethan frowned. That's impossible. Why? Nobody comes here. The footsteps continued, slowly moving through the darkness. Yet no one appeared. No figure. No shadow. Nothing. Meanwhile, back in the village, Pastor Samuel rushed toward Mayor Carter's house. He pounded on the door. Mayor Carter, wake up. Moments later, the mayor opened the door. What happened? Pastor Samuel looked terrified. The sounds have returned. Mayor Carter's face immediately changed. No, I heard them clearly. The pastor's hands were shaking. The Nishiro are back. Mayor Carter stared at him. That's impossible. They disappeared years ago. Pastor Samuel slowly shook his head. Something has awakened them. Throughout Ravenwood, frightened villagers were now awake. The mysterious sounds echoed across the entire village. Fear settled into every heart. But Emma, Olivia, and Ethan knew nothing about it. They continued exploring the palace, completely unaware that something ancient had returned. And far beyond the village, near the edge of the forest, two men sat beneath a tree playing cards. Jake and Ryan's. Ryan tossed down his cards. Come on, let's go home. Jake laughed. What's losing already? It's late. You're only saying that because you're losing. Ryan rolled his eyes. Just finish the game. Before Jake could answer, both men heard something. A strange sound. The same sound echoing through the village. Boom, boom, boom. The wind suddenly intensified. Dust swirled around them. They struggled to keep their eyes open. Then, through the storm, they saw figures approaching. 4 figures, slowly emerging from the darkness. Each carried a coffin on their shoulders. And as they walked, they chanted something. a language neither man could understand. Jake and Ryan froze. The four figures stopped directly in front of them. The wind suddenly died down. Silence filled the forest. Then the figures slowly lifted their heads. Their eyes glowed a deep crimson red. Jake felt his blood run cold. Ryan couldn't move. The four coffin bearers stared directly at them. And in that horrifying moment, neither of them realized that their nightmare had only just begun. Back inside the palace, Emma, Olivia, and Ethan suddenly heard a loud noise. Bang! It sounded as if a massive door had been thrown open somewhere deep within the palace. All three froze instantly. What was that? Olivia whispered. Ethan stared into the darkness. I don't know. For a moment, nobody moved. The sound had echoed through the entire palace. It was impossible to tell where it had come from. Then, another sound followed. As if an ancient door that hadn't been opened in centuries was slowly moving. Emma felt a chill run down her spine. Maybe we should leave. Olivia looked toward the darkness. Not yet. Meanwhile, at the edge of the forest, Jake and Ryan stood frozen before the four mysterious coffin bearers. Neither man could move. Neither could speak. The figures continued staring at them with glowing red eyes. Then, slowly, the coffin resting on their shoulders began to move. The lid shifted. Jake's heart nearly stopped. Ryan took a step backward. The lid continued opening. Slowly, painfully slowly, as if whatever was inside wanted them to watch. The chanting grew louder. The wind returned. The trees shook violently. Then, the coffin opened completely. Jake and Ryan looked inside. And the moment they saw what was there, their faces turned white. Pure terror filled their eyes. A horrifying scream exploded from the forest. The scream echoed across Ravenwood. Every villager heard it. Doors opened. Lights turned on. People rushed to their windows. Fear spread through the entire village. Inside Mayor Carter's house, the mayor looked toward the forest. His face went pale. No, Pastor Samuel lowered his head. It has begun. The villagers gathered outside despite their fear. Everyone was asking the same question. Whose scream was that? What happened in the forest? Have the Nishiro returned? Nobody knew the answer. But everyone felt the same thing. Dread. A terrible feeling that something evil had awakened once again. Meanwhile, inside the palace, Emma, Olivia, and Ethan had heard the scream too. All three looked at one another. Did you hear that? Emma asked. Olivia nodded. Yeah. Ethan swallowed nervously. That came from the forest. Suddenly, another loud noise echoed through the palace. Bang! This time it sounded much closer. The three spun around. A massive wooden door at the end of the hallway had opened by itself. Beyond it, there was only darkness. Complete darkness. None of them could see what was inside. Then, a shadow moved. Emma's eyes widened. Did you say that? Before anyone could answer, a figure slowly stepped forward from the darkness. The three friends froze, their hearts pounding, unable to believe what they were seeing. At that exact moment, far away in the forest, the four coffin bearers stood silently beside the open coffin. Jake and Ryan's screams had vanished. The forest became silent once again, as if nothing had happened, as if the darkness had claimed them completely. Who were the Nishiro? What was hidden inside the coffin? What exactly was the elixir of immortality? And why did Emma feel connected to the palace, the forest, and the mysterious tree from her dreams? The answers lie ahead. In the next chapter of this terrifying story,